It is Wednesday, January 10th, and we had a power outage day at school. So they've been out of power for over 24 hours at school and in the town of Cattaraugus. So I hope that they get it back on. We have a field trip tomorrow. We actually are being awarded the Ag/FFA Chapter of the Year for New York State for 2024, which is a huge deal. And the ceremony recognition thing is actually tomorrow, and we leave school at 8 a.m. So the reason I'm recording in my sheep barn right now, one of the most common questions that I get as a, shepherd, sheep farmer, whatever you want to call me, is what are the early signs of labor and birth? Basically, I brought home a new group of registered ewes and ewe lambs back mid-August. And of course, Divinity was already separated from our main flock, and he was with the ram lambs. Reed set up another pasture for those rams and used the grain bucket and shook the grain bucket, and like half of them followed, and Divinity didn't follow. And Divinity is our big white ram, and he is the best behaved boy, except for when it's time to breed a ewe. So basically, Divinity didn't follow the rest of the group, and when we make these new pens or these pastures, it's not that far from the original pasture that they were in previously. So it's literally putting the fence down, luring them to walk over it, and like that's it. So anyway, that then led into a hour-long chase trying to get Divinity back in. In the meantime, he did get lucky with one of our new ewes. And because she was new and not used to us, I couldn't even grab a tag number off of her. So I was like, well, I'll just keep my eyes open in January. Now, mind you, I did time 2 older registered ewes that I had purchased in this group to lamb this time of year. Because that way, if they had problems and they needed attention, I knew that I wouldn't really be traveling in January. Well, the Ag/FFA Chapter of the Year thing was not... we didn't get that until November, so there's no way I could have predicted that. So I was in here the other day just looking around, eyeing up the sheep, seeing what's going on. This is Rose. Rose is a sweetheart. So I was eyeing up the sheep, seeing what's going on, and I will show you what I found to lead me to believe that I will have lambs within the next couple of days. And I just dug out this door over here because there was a bunch of hay manure buildup and it was pushed out away from the actual wall. This ewe right here is the one that I'm referencing. So the first thing that I noticed that told me she was close was the fact that she was bagging up. And I can show you an example. Okay, so she definitely, if she'll cooperate, she is definitely bagging up. So that is a characteristic of a ewe that will be lambing at least within the next week. So, but I think I've got like a day or two. Another thing, although it's hard to tell on the Katahdins because they have longer tails, but she does have some swelling in her vulva area, and it's getting a little bit pink. I know, honey, I'm just trying to keep an eye on you. So for a point of reference, I will try to find another sheep that is an aged mom to give you a point of reference for udder structure or udder development. So this big ewe that's walking away from me right here, you can kind of see she's got a saggy baggy, but she's not anywhere close to lambing. She's going to be, sorry, honey, she's going to be late March, early April for sure. But you can definitely see how her udder actually, and this is the first one right here. So this is the one that's close to lambing. And here's that further one again. So you can see that the udder isn't really developed at all. There's no mammary development. It's a very saggy. Typically, when sheep are not lactating, their udders really stay nice and tight to the body, so you can barely see them. Especially on most of my ewes, my sheep, they have really good udder structure. Just overall, even when they're close to lambing, I'll make sure that I show that once lambing time rolls around. Here's one right here. This is a 6-year-old ewe, and you can barely see her bag. That's Lily for reference, by the way. She's one of my best mamas. And ideally, that's what they're supposed to look like when they're not lactating actively. I am a little sad that those ewes that I picked up, I'm hoping that I'll be able to correct the udder teat structure on those sheep, because It drives me nuts. You get all these fancy, all the genetic sheep, and it turns out that they're actually horrible quality animals, and that my commercial sheep were significantly better than the ones that I bring in. You can also see that this ewe is like very wide in her midsection. But if you look at her, I mean, my goodness, she's wide. And the babies are sitting right here on this side. Well, another good view of her udder and how big it's getting. I'm praying she either goes tonight or late tomorrow night, because I won't be home from Syracuse until like 9 p.m.